woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. Let's take a look at this and just see how valid a statement this actually is. We'll just take a look at the grocery store for a minute. We know that food in the grocery store starts out on the farm. Let's take a look at a few numbers. The first numbers that we'll look at is the demographics for farmers. There are 937 farmers, 26.4% are women. Next number we'll look at is population in America. In 2021, there were 331,900,000 people. If we divide all this out, 331,900,000 people divided by 937 is 354,216. What that equates to is that each farmer provides food for 354,216 people on average. Since 51% of the population is female, 51% of 331,900,000 people is 169,269,000 women. So far, so good. If we take 937 times 26.4%, we get 247. So there are 247 female farmers. If we take the 354,216, which is how many people each farmer feeds, multiply that by 247, the number of female farmers, we get 87,491,352 people. In other words, 52% of women will not have food if there are no male farmers. That's just from food production portion of farming. So far, it's looking like that fish just might need that bicycle. Let's take a look at what it takes to build these tractors and equipment that the farmers need. Right now, we're taking a look at a plant tour of John Deere plant where they build the tractors that farmers use and also the implements that they use behind them. We're just taking a look at the employees here, and it appears as though that the majority of these employees are men. So even the female farmers are dependent upon men. Now, they need steel to make all these things and to make the tools. It was men that built the building, built all this equipment. We'll go ahead and we'll take a look now into what it takes to come up with steel. It's looking more and more like that fish needs that bicycle. Now we're looking at the demographics for ore mining. And what we find is 15.7% of the employees that are working in mining are women. Given that 51% of the population is female, you're basically 35% short of the steel that you're going to need to maintain your all-female society. Now, the ore needs to be taken to a steel mill where it gets converted into steel. I'll bet that fish is getting awful tired pedaling that bike around everywhere. Let's bounce over here and take a look at the demographics for steel mills. We show females at 6%. Now keep in mind the majority of those jobs are at-home jobs. They were most likely clerical, something that can be done at home. They're not actually working in the steel mill. Now if we bounce back over to our demographics on ore, we have 15.7% females. And again, it's the same situation. They're primarily work from home jobs. You have effectively dropped 9.7% in your steel making capability. You are going to be 44% below the production you need, even if it was all females making the farm tractors and the implements. And of course the building that it's in and all the tools and everything else. You are 44% short on your steel manufacturing. What this means is that 52% of women that will not have food, it has now become 96% of the women out there will not have food to eat. We're going to need a way to transport all this harvested food, steel, along with the equipment. One of the primary ways that we transport this is via truck, whether it be for grain or for steel or for the equipment. Let's take a look at demographics for trucking. As you can see, there are 8% of the truck drivers are female. That leaves you women 43% short on the driver's side of the equation. Now there is another way that we primarily use for transport, and that is the rail system. Let's go ahead and take a look at the railroad demographics. And what we see is 5.7% of railroad workers are female. This leaves you women 45.3% short on the number of people you need just to support women in America for what we use the rail system for. Next, I'm going to go into construction. We have to build buildings to house the grocery stores, food processing plants, the plants where we make the steel, the plants where we make the tractors and the implements. Let's take a look at construction demographics. And what we see is females make up 6% of construction workers. This leaves you women 45% less workforce than what you need to sustain your portion of society. Now, we haven't discussed packaging. We haven't discussed fuel in order to run the trucks and the tractors. We haven't discussed the utilities that are involved. What I do know, I see an awful lot of fish buying bicycles. That's it for me. Y'all have a great day, and I'm out.